Dear students, we were learning about the rotation and revolution of the earth. Today we can learn about the occurrence of season. Seasons are the combined effect of revolution of the earth around the sun and inclination of the axis. Other than this, rotation and spherical shape of the earth are also related to the occurrence of seasons. Due to the spherical shape of the earth, different parts of earth receives the rays of the sun in a different way. Here, the equatorial region receives vertical rays of the sun and temperate region receives slanting rays of the sun and polar regions receive oblique rays of the sun. Angle of incidence of the sun's rays at equatorial region is 90 degree. When we move from equator to the poles, the angle of incidence decreases due to the increase in the curvature of the Earth's surface. This variation in the angle of incidence we experience on a daily basis and on a seasonal basis. In this figure, you can observe the morning time the rays of the sun is falling on the earth's surface in a slanting pattern. So slanting rays they cover over a large area and their heating capacity is less. On the other hand, noon time earth's surface receiving a vertical ray and vertical rays are concentrating over a small area. Because of that they are having more heating capacity. When the sun's rays are moving through the atmosphere, due to scattering and absorption by the clouds and dust particles, heat energy is reducing. So in this diagram you can find vertical rays, they are moving through the atmosphere for a short distance. That means these vertical rays are more intense. On the other hand, the slanting rays they are moving through the atmosphere for a long distance, and loss of heat energy through the scattering or absorption by the clouds it will be more. That means that their heating capacity again reduces. That's why vertical rays are hotter than the slanting rays. This itself leading to the variation in the temperature over the earth. That means torrid region is the hottest region, temperate region is having a moderate temperature, and polar region is the coldest region on the earth. The earth rotates from west to east. As it rotates, only half of the sphere which faces the sun experiences day. The other half of the sphere that remains away from the sun experiences night. The imaginary line demarcating day and night is known as circle of illumination. As the earth rotates from west to east, this circle of illumination will be moving according to the rotational movement of the earth. Due to the inclination of the earth's axis, circle of illumination will not be parallel to it. The length of the day and night varies from latitude to latitude. That is represented in this diagram. You can see the circle of illumination. In this diagram, the north pole is away from the sun and south pole is tilting towards the sun. So, south pole experiencing 6-month day in that particular season, and the daylight duration is decreasing when we are going towards the north pole. Equatorial region experiencing 12 hours day and 12 hours night. It is again decreasing when we are going to the north pole. In north pole it is 6 months night. This variation is because of the inclination of the earth's axis. There is always a transition period between day and night as well as night and day. That means before we see the sun in the horizon, we are able to watch our surroundings. This is the transition period. That means there is a diffused light. This diffused light is known as twilight. It is produced by scattering of air molecules, minute particles of dust and water vapor. It reflects the sun's rays back to the earth's surface. This twilight we can experience when the sun is up to 18 degrees below the horizon before sunrise. This period of twilight is known as dawn. After the sunset also we experience this twilight as long as the sun is up to 18 degrees below the horizon. This period of diffused light is known as dusk. The period or duration of twilight or dawn and dusk varies with latitude and seasons. It increases from equator to the poles. In the equatorial region, the period of twilight will be very short, but it increases for hours in the middle latitudes or temperate region, and it will be very long enough for many days and months in the frigid zone or near to the polar region. We know that the sun does not move, but the earth revolves around the sun. On the earth, it appears as if the sun is changing its position day by day, sometimes towards the north, otherwise towards the south. When the sun is moving from Tropic of Capricorn to Tropic of Cancer, that movement is named as northward apparent migration or Uttarayan. When the sun is moving from Tropic of Cancer to Tropic of Capricorn, it is named as southward apparent migration or Dakshinayan. Due to apparent migration of the sun, the places located between the tropics have the overhead sun or making 90-degree angle twice a year, once between June and December and again between December and June. The places located beyond the two tropics never experiences the overhead sun. Now let us go through the cycle of seasons according to the Earth's position in its elliptical orbit. First, we can learn about the position of the Earth in the month of June. You know that now we are experiencing the summer season. That means the sun is overhead of northern hemisphere. We have now rainy season, that is the second part of our summer season. The sun is moving on the northern hemisphere, means it is in its northward movement, and June 21st the sun will reach over the Tropic of Cancer. That means sun's vertical rays will be fall over the Tropic of Cancer on the day of 21st June. So we will feel that the sun is standing still over the Tropic of Cancer. That day we are naming as summer solstice. The sun reaching its highest point. The altitude of the sun will be highest when it reaches the Tropic of Cancer. The angle of incidence of the sun's rays will be 90 degree at Tropic of Cancer, and it will decrease towards the North Pole and the South Pole. In this position, North Pole is tilted towards the sun. The duration of daylight goes on increasing from 12 hours at the equator to 24 hours at the pole. You can see in the diagram beyond the Arctic Circle, duration of day is 24 hours. This will exist in that region around 6 months. At this time, the South Pole is inclined away from the Sun, so the Sun's rays will not reach the South Pole region, that means beyond the Antarctic Circle. So, Southern Hemisphere is experiencing its winter season, and the South Pole it is in complete darkness, that also will extend for around 6 months. The longest day for Northern Hemisphere is 21st June, and the shortest night experiencing here is also 21st June. On the other hand, it is winter in the Southern Hemisphere, and it has the shortest day and the longest night on the 21st of June. As the North Pole is inclined towards the Sun, the region beyond the Arctic Circle experiences 24 hours continuous daylight. That means the Sun never sets in the North Pole region. That's why Norway is known as Land of Midnight Sun. This region, around 6 months, the Sun will not set, and always it will be appearing or encircling the horizon. After 21st June, the sun will start its southward movement or Uttarayan, and the earth is moving along the orbit from west to east. After 3 months, the sun will reach over the equator, and the date is 23rd September. When the sun is overhead of the equator region experience the vertical rays. That means the angle of incidence of the sun's rays will be 90 degree. And due to that, throughout the earth, the duration of day and night will be equal. That means 12-hour day and 12-hour night. And this day is named as autumnal equinox as we experience the autumn season. The word equinox means equal nights, so equal days are also experienced. The circle of illumination touches both the poles because at this position the inclination of the Earth's axis does not have any effect on the duration of the day. So, sun's rays are overhead at the equator making 90-degree angle, and when it is going to the other latitudes, for example in 60-degree north latitude, angle of incidence will be 30-degree, and in the north pole or south pole the angle of incidence will be 0-degree. The sun moves on its southward movement, and on 22nd December it will reach over the Tropic of Capricorn. That means sun's vertical rays will be falling over the Tropic of Capricorn, and the angle of incidence will be 90-degree. In this diagram you can observe the south pole is tilted towards the sun, and the north pole is inclined away from the sun. It is summer season in southern hemisphere and winter season in the northern hemisphere. The duration of daylight goes on increasing from 12 hours at the equator and 24 hours at the south pole. And beyond the Antarctic Circle, you can watch it is 24-hour daylight, and it will exist there for around 6 months. On the other hand, North Pole it is away from the sun, and there it is 24 hours darkness. That means that area is going to experience 6 months night time. 22nd December is the longest day for southern hemisphere, and it is their shortest night. And 22nd December is the shortest day for northern hemisphere and their longest night. After 22nd December, the sun starts its northward movement. After 3 months, it will reach over the equator again. That means on 21st March, the sun will be overhead of the equator, and the angle of incidence of the sun's rays with the earth will be 90-degree on the equatorial region. During this day, it will be spring equinox, means the northern hemisphere will experience spring season and the southern hemisphere will experience autumn season. On 21st March also the duration of day and night will be equal throughout the world. After 3 months, the sun will reach over the Tropic of Cancer and completes its northward movement and complete its one cycle of season. And it starts its next cycle of season and next revolutionary movement around the sun. The collision of electrically charged particles from the sun while entering the Earth's atmosphere produces a bright light. This phenomena is visible at the north and the south poles during their period of darkness. It is known as aurora borealis at the north pole and aurora australis at the south pole.